In a small, quiet town, lived a family full of warmth and love. They weren't wealthy, but they had each other. A baby boy, Ahmed, was born into this home, bringing immense joy. His parents, those simple folks, had big dreams for themselves. His father once dreamed of opening a small workshop, and his mother imagined starting her own little tailoring business. But when Ahmed came along, their dreams shifted. All their hopes, all their efforts, were now poured into giving their son the best life possible. They worked tirelessly, day and night, sacrificing their own desires to ensure Ahmed never lacked for anything. Their small home echoed with laughter and encouragement, a sanctuary built on love and sacrifice. Ahmed grew up seeing his parents' hard work. He was a bright kid, and he understood that their sacrifices were his stepping stones. He studied diligently, burning the midnight oil, determined to make them proud. His hard work paid off. He excelled in his studies, got into a prestigious university, and eventually landed a high-paying job in the big city. His parents were overjoyed. Their son had finally made it. They felt their sacrifices were all worthwhile. Ahmed was living the life they had always dreamed for him. He bought new things, wore expensive clothes, and his lifestyle changed completely. He was a success story. But as Ahmed's success grew, something inside him began to change. He started to see his parents' simple life as backward. The world he now lived in was fast-paced, modern, and glamorous. When he visited his parents, he felt a sense of impatience. His mother, her hands wrinkled from years of work, would lovingly prepare his favorite meals, her eyes full of pride. But Ahmed would barely notice. Instead, he would complain, "Mom, why do you still cook this way? It's so oily and unhealthy." He would speak to her harshly, his tone sharp and dismissive. Her loving questions about his life were met with curt, one-word answers. He was too busy, too important for these simple conversations. His mother, heartbroken, would simply fall silent, her smile fading, but her love for him never wavered. His father, a man of quiet wisdom, would try to offer advice, sharing his life experiences. He'd talk about the importance of saving, of staying grounded, of remembering one's roots. But Ahmed would just roll his eyes. "Dad, your ideas are from another century. The world doesn't work like that anymore. You don't understand my world." He dismissed his father's wisdom as old-fashioned and irrelevant. The man who had taught him how to walk was now being told he didn't understand the path Ahmed was on. His father, seeing the wall his son had built, would retreat into silence. He wouldn't argue. He and his wife would just sit together in the evenings, quietly praying for their son's well-being, hoping he would find his way back. The distance between Ahmed and his parents grew wider with each passing day. He felt their simple home was suffocating him. He craved what he called freedom, a life without his parents' questions, without their outdated values. So, he made a decision. He told them he was moving into his own apartment in the city. He claimed it was for convenience, closer to work. But deep down, he was running away from them. His parents didn't protest. With heavy hearts, they helped him pack, their unspoken sadness filling the rooms he was so eager to leave. They wished him well, their love unconditional, even as he was breaking their hearts. In his new, stylish apartment, Ahmed embraced his freedom. He hosted parties, bought expensive gadgets, and lived life on his own terms. For a while, it felt exhilarating. He was the master of his own universe, surrounded by so-called friends who admired his success and his wealth. But a strange emptiness began to creep in. The laughter at his parties felt hollow. The expensive furniture couldn't fill the void in his heart. The temporary comforts he had chased so desperately failed to bring him the one thing he truly needed: peace. He would often find himself staring out his window at the city lights, feeling a profound sense of loneliness. He missed the simple warmth of his parents' home, a feeling he had once taken for granted. Then, one day, the world he had so carefully constructed came crashing down. The company he worked for went through a major restructuring, and Ahmed, despite his performance, was laid off. His high-paying job, the source of his pride and his identity, was gone in an instant. The shock was immense. Suddenly, he couldn't afford his lavish lifestyle. He couldn't host extravagant parties anymore. And as his money dwindled, so did his friends. The people he thought were his close companions slowly drifted away. His phone, which once buzzed constantly with invitations, fell silent. The friends who had praised his success were nowhere to be found in his failure. The loneliness was crushing. The failure was a heavy weight on his soul. Ahmed was broken. He spent his days locked in his empty apartment, the silence amplifying his despair. He had pushed away the only two people in the world who loved him unconditionally. In his darkest hour, he had no one to turn to. The shame was overwhelming, but the pain of his isolation was even greater. With nowhere else to go, humbled and defeated, he packed a small bag and took the long journey back home. He stood at the door of his parents' house, the same door he had walked out of so arrogantly, now feeling like a lost child. He knocked hesitantly. The door opened, and his mother stood there. For a moment, she just looked at him, taking in his tired eyes and slumped shoulders. Ahmed braced himself for anger, for disappointment, for the "I told you so" he felt he deserved. But it never came. Instead, his mother's face soft with love and concern. She opened her arms and hugged him tightly, a hug that felt like coming home. She didn't ask any questions. She didn't utter a single word of complaint. She just held him, her embrace washing away months of his pride and arrogance. His father came out, his expression calm and gentle. Ahmed couldn't meet his eyes, shame burning within him. He expected a lecture, a scolding for his foolishness, but his father simply placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Welcome home, son. Don't worry, everything will be all right. We are here for you." These simple words of support, offered without any judgment, were more powerful than any reprimand. They were words of pure, unconditional love. In that moment, the full weight of his mistakes crashed down on Ahmed. He saw with painful clarity how he had disrespected them, how he had traded their priceless love for fleeting, superficial success. Tears streamed down his face, tears of regret and shame. He fell to his knees before them. "Mom, Dad, please forgive me," he sobbed. "I was so wrong. I was arrogant and foolish. I hurt you so much. Please, forgive me." His parents knelt down with him, their own eyes filled with tears. His mother gently wiped his face, her touch as soft as he remembered from his childhood. "There is nothing to forgive, my son," she said softly. "You are our child. We love you, no matter what." His father added, "We are just happy you are home." Their forgiveness was instantaneous, complete, and wrapped in the purest love. That day marked a turning point in Ahmed's life. He realized that true wealth wasn't in a bank account or a fancy apartment, but in the love of his family. He understood that his parents' wisdom wasn't old-fashioned, but timeless. He decided to change. He stayed with his parents, helping around the house, listening to their stories, and cherishing every moment with them.
He started looking for a new job, not with arrogance, but with humility and a new perspective.
His heart, once empty and cold, was now filled with peace and gratitude. He had learned the most important lesson of his life. Success and peace are not found in wealth or status, but in the blessings that come from honoring and respecting your parents. Their love is the true foundation upon which a happy life is built. Thank you so much